The Sarah Farman Story, Part 2. Sarah interviews for a new job and something special happens. Sarah had been working for the assistant to the general manager for quite some time now. After her visit to the farm, she had a talk with Dad on the phone. She told him that although she was making a living and had some good friends in the city, she was beginning to think about a new job. Maybe she would be better off if she took a different direction. It just didn't seem like there was much of a future in her current situation. Her dad listened very closely, which always gave her a feeling of confidence. She felt good when she talked things over with him. He made her feel like she could do anything she set her mind to. When she thought about her days as a little girl, she remembered her dad's old friend that would visit every now and then. Her dad would spend several hours with him talking over old times, and she could see her dad really liked the man. He drove a nice car and had nice clothes. He even smelled nice that time. He gave her a quick hug and a gift of fancy new shoes as he was leaving. The attention was probably because she had been making a slight pest of herself at the time. He was in the shoe business and owned a chain of shoe stores. Her dad called her on the phone the next evening when she got home from work. Her dad had talked to his friend, and it turns out there was an opening for a trainee manager at one of his stores. If she was interested, he would be at the Shell Hill branch Monday all day. Could she come in about 9 to interview for the job? She could. That night she couldn't sleep. It was hard to keep her mind on her work when she kept thinking about the interview. Oh, it would be wonderful to work as a shoe store manager. So different from what she was doing now. Different town, different industry, and maybe she might meet new people. Sarah knew she would have to travel on Sunday to be there for the interview at 9. Her grandma knew about a nice bed and breakfast down the street from the shoe store, so she made a reservation at that same B&B for Sunday night. This is very exciting, she thought. Wow. Sunday afternoon arrived and she caught the 1400 train to Shell Hill. She had a great seat in a nearly empty coach. As she was settling in for the 2-hour ride, a young fellow and his apparent girlfriend, Marina, asked if they could sit down. She said, "Sure." She didn't really hear anything Marina said because she could not keep her eyes off Jeff. He was very handsome and funny. She didn't like Marina much at first, but then found out Marina and Jeff were brother and sister, and that Marina was lots of fun too. She and Jeff and Marina talked and laughed the whole way. They had a great trip, the three of them, and time flew by. Soon they would have to go because Shell Hill was the next stop. As Sarah got up, Jeff looked straight at her and said, "See you soon." There was a distinct twinkle in his eye. Maybe she only imagined it. Jeff and Marina were changing trains in Shell Hill and going on to Farmore. When Sarah stepped off the train, Jeff waved to her as she walked towards the footbridge. She felt like she was walking on air. Jeff was so smart. Jeff was so handsome. Jeff was such a gentleman. Later that night, as she sat reading a magazine in her room, she suddenly thought, "I don't have his phone number. I don't have his last name. He doesn't have my last name. Oh no." She would never see him again. "Oh no," she cried. She didn't sleep at all that night thinking about Jeff. After the interview the next day, which Sarah thought went well, she headed back for home on the 1420 for Howe Street. To be continued.